This is my new MWX Performance R1 in 2500 kV class. I brought this to the track 2 days ago and put in 461 laps. The car was doing good fast laps and it's doing it consistently. The fast lap on this car 2 days ago was 789, but I only hit that one time, but I also did hit a bunch of 7.9s. But it's fast and it's consistent. However, I don't like how the car feels on the track. It feels a little aggressive, and for whatever reason, my 3500 R1 is easy to drive compared to this car. And I am trying to figure out, well, I'm still trying to chase the setup to where I can have this car, my 2500, running like the 3500, to where it's easy to drive, but at the same time fast, okay? So I did a bunch of changes on this car after Friday's session. Yesterday, I changed a few things, which I will talk about on the, maybe I'll add it in this video. But right now, I'm going to the track, not to set a fast lap or match this fast lap. Well, I mean, I need to be at least in the 7.9s, but I want the car to be easier to drive. Right now, it's pretty aggressive.
7.9. 7.8. 7.8. 7.8. 7.7. 7.9. 7.9.
Okay, let's go ahead and talk about this MWX R1 2500. I just changed the motor to the rocket motor. I had this PN when I was doing the test, but for our class, this is the motor that we're supposed to run for expert drivers. So on Friday, first time I took this car on the track, I did 461 laps on this car. Fast lap was 7.89 that I hit one time. And I did few 7.9s, but the car, yeah, it was fast and it was consistent, but it wasn't fun to drive. It was very twitchy. The front of the car was very twitchy. No traction roll though, it's just too twitchy. The steering was very sensitive. You know, if you want to micro adjust the car, especially on power, when you're pulling the throttle in the back straight and you want to adjust your line a little bit, the steering's like amplified. I didn't like how that felt on the track. It's hard to lead, it's hard to follow someone. It was just hard to drive overall. Although it's still consistent, especially if you're driving by yourself. Like when I was driving around by myself, it was fine, but it's not something definitely not something I would want to drive if there's a big race. It's not the kind of setup I'm gonna be comfortable with driving. So after Friday, come Saturday, I tuned the car to make the steering a little slower, not over responsive, just to get more steering resolution. You know, I wanna get the full range of my I feel like when I'm steering the steering wheel, and I feel like if I'm turning this way, I feel like the car just jams to the lock position, but I only moved a little bit, you know. It just feels like I'm steering like this, lock to lock, but really I'm trying to move it slowly. But it just felt too twitchy, okay? So what I did was I added toe out. Originally it was at 2 degrees toe out, which is what I have in my 3500 R1. Again, this is a 2500 with a hard body. I moved the toe out from 2 to 3 degrees. And then I had 0.5 droop in the front. I lowered it to 0.2. And then in the back, I don't have droop in the back, just the front. And what else did I do to the car? Camber. So the camber plate was 0, 3. Now I'm running 1, 3. Just so there's a little bit, not all of the tires are, you know, on the track. Part of it is not going to be on the track because it's cambered. And I figured that's gonna make it lighter in the front. Ride height the same in the front, which is at 1.9 and 1.9. That's what I did on Saturday. On Sunday, yesterday, first battery pack, fastest lap was 7.9, which is, you know, the same as the Friday fast lap. My first 28 laps, 7.9. But the car still felt twitchy, even after all the work that I did on Saturday. Yes, it got better, but still too twitchy for me. So on my same battery pack, I on the next drive, I did something to the car, which is I added 3 grams of weight under the battery. Right there, 3 grams. And that got the car to do 7.76 fast lap in 15 laps. I only did 1.77, the rest are 7.8 and 7.9s. Few 7.8s. But still, it's still, you know, it got better, but it's still too much steering for me. But then I don't know if I'm asking for something that doesn't exist, you know. So I went and drove my other car, 2500, and I hit 770 in like 10 laps, and I had multiple 7.7s. The fastest is 770, okay. Yeah, right there I put 8 7.7s, and this is a brand new battery, second pack, on a different car. So I said, okay, after driving this car had a bit of understeer, which makes it so much easier to drive. But I want the steering that I'm getting from the R1, but make it calmer a little bit. Okay? So I went back, grabbed the R1, and what I did was I lifted the front from 1.9, I put it to 2.0, and then I left this at 1.9. And I did 8 laps and hit 764 on the same battery that I've been using when I did the first run on a different car. Second battery pack, I hit 764. Okay? Only thing I did was make sure there's no binding in the front and lifted the front to 2.0 and kept the back at 1.9. And that made the car so much easier to drive. Still not understeering, but it was a lot easier to drive, and I can drive it fast and aggressive. And the car doesn't lift like it wants to traction roll. It doesn't do that. I also kept the weight back here, 3 grams. And my dual rate was at 75%, okay? This is the only test I did to the car, and then the rest of the time I was on the track, there's other cars on the track. I hit few 7.6 and the fast lap of 7.61 with this car. It's fast. It's fast. I know it's fast. Forget about the lap time, just the feel of the car, where you can enjoy the drive and the car just listens to whatever it is that you're telling it to do. I was able to do that. And after that, I did not touch the car anymore. I was just driving it the whole time. And I did 370 78 laps on this car. I didn't even rotate the tires, I just keep driving it. And the dual rate is at 75%, and again, fast lap 7.61. Okay, the setup now on this car from yesterday's drive: 0.2 droop in the front. The toe is at 3 degrees toe out. I'm still running the same springs, black, red. The ride height is 2.0, 1.9, plus 3 grams. The offset in the front, I have plus 1.2 offset in the front. The tires I'm running is KS 1042 from PN Racing. The wheels are PN F1 19 millimeter. The tires in the back are Marca 15 radials. The back now on Sunday has 0 droop, but now I put 0.4. I want to get a little bit of that initial steering to the car, but we'll see, okay? That's why it's now at 0.4, but on Sunday, 0. And the camber plate is 1.3. Today I did change something to the car, which is the grease. I went with Kyosho 5000 instead of the 15,000. I just want to see what that's like on the Kingpin, okay? But the grease here is still Kyosho 30K. The car feels fast. It feels really good. It's the car steers. It has such a good steering. You can late brake into the corner. Like you can dive into the corner. You can even do lock to lock driving, you know, like point and shoot, dive in to the corner and just lock the steering. The car is not gonna traction roll. Well, at least not my car. Man, car feels so good. It tracks straight. Yeah, I had so much fun on this car yesterday. I couldn't wait to make the video while everything was still fresh, you know. So anyway, I am still running the steel chassis. I did run the weights in the back. I removed it already for Sunday. So there's no weights back here. The 2 weights, the wings. I don't have those anymore. And then, yes, this is the battery that I used. What else? I am running plus 3 offset in the back, 20 millimeter, 1353. And we also have a nice layout. It's so flowy and a bit tight in field, but it doesn't feel tight, you know. Yeah, I think the layout made it more fun, I think. Right now it feels good with the Jomurema Lexan roof and spoiler. Yeah, I guess that's it for this video. Okay, thanks.